Hi, I'm Jessica Gavin, and today I'm going to show you how to make the most creamy macaroni and cheese. Mac and cheese is a childhood favorite that all kids love and adults devour. My version has a super crispy panko crust, and I'm going to show you my top tips for making the cheese sauce super smooth and creamy. So let's get started. Macaroni and cheese is a really simple dish to make, but that means it's really important to choose the right ingredients so you get the most smooth and creamiest sauce. So what we have for this recipe is elbow noodles. I like the elbows because they actually hold their shape really well for mixing, and you get a little bit of sauce stuck inside, which I love. And then I choose sharp cheddar cheese and Monterey Jack because they're a little bit higher in moisture and have good flavor, so it's going to give that nice melty consistency. And then you always want to make sure that you add a roux, which is usually about equal parts of butter and flour, and that's going to help thicken up the sauce, alongside with some whole milk to add some creaminess and richness to the mac and cheese sauce. To make the pasta noodles, I have 4 quarts of water boiling, and I always add about a tablespoon of salt to the water so that the noodles get a little bit more flavor even before they get mixed in with the cheese sauce. Okay. And then we're gonna add the noodles. And then just cook until they're al dente. So let's check the pasta. Yep, the noodles are nice and tender, so we're gonna drain that and make the sauce. So there's actually a lot of science that goes into making the sauce, because if you want to have a really smooth and creamy consistency, you're going to want to make a roux base. So what you're going to add to the pan is your butter. You're going to allow that to melt down, and then you're going to add your flour. And the reason why we add flour is that there's starches inside the flour that is going to help the sauce thicken up as it starts to heat up and swell and absorb all of the moisture from the milk. Add that to the pan, and what you're going to do is you're going to whisk it together, and you just want the paste that's going to form to be kind of like a light blonde color, so about 1 to 2 minutes to make the roux. And the reason why you add the butter is that the fat in the butter is actually going to coat the starch granules so that when it's in the sauce, it's not going to get clumped up together and get gritty and have like a really bad texture for your sauce. To season the sauce, we're going to add a ½ teaspoon of salt to the roux, just a pinch of cayenne pepper for a little bit of heat, and then some freshly grated nutmeg. It's an amazing warm spice that's going to add a lot of great flavor and depth to the macaroni and cheese. Just whisk that together. And now that you have a blonde roux, what you're going to want to do is add a cold milk to the hot roux. Just gradually add that in. And always make sure that you continuously whisk, because that's going to help the flour and starches in the sauce stay separated. Once you've incorporated all of the milk into the sauce, you're going to turn the heat down to a low simmer and whisk occasionally for about 7 minutes until the sauce gets nice and thickened. The sauce is nice and thickened, and one quick and easy way to test for if it's done is I'll take a spoon and you just dip it in the sauce, and if it coats the back and you can run your finger through and it doesn't come back together, then it's definitely ready. Now that the sauce is ready, you're going to turn off the heat and add the cheese in. Whisk the sauce until the cheese is combined and incorporated into the sauce. Now that the mac and cheese sauce is ready, let's add the noodles. Just stir to combine, but then you're also going to want to turn the heat up back on to medium so that it gets nice and piping hot. And then we're going to add the panko breadcrumbs and get it nice and crispy. I like to use panko breadcrumbs because they They actually have a really nice surface area and they have a really good crispy crunch so that you get extra texture with each bite. Now we're going to put the mac and cheese into the oven on a high broil for about 3 to 5 minutes until the topping is nice and golden brown. Now you've got a big pot of piping hot, creamy, and super crunchy macaroni and cheese. I promise there'll be no leftovers. If you like this recipe and the tips, please like and share the video.